Well, back after it again today.
Train, 16 coaches long.
Now you see why. My project for this morning, which may not be correct or not, but I've put all these rocks in the areas I liked and I've pinned them into position. But it showed taking your X-Acto knife here and making them fit up into the mold itself. So what I've done was I'm not just gonna sculpt the mold, these things, and plop them on the outside and then build Sculptamold up. I actually cut spots out for these rocks, and that way I could put them in just exactly how I want. And some of them I didn't cut all the way out. I just bought myself some room behind it so that the rocks didn't look like they were just stuck on the edge. And I've done 2 or 3 or 4 of these. I kind of like getting some room for that Sculptamold to go back up in there and bite. And it should be here today. Cut me some spot. Probably gonna clean that one up a little bit more. That one too. And got a spot cut out for that one. And these rocks, that way I can push these rocks in and get exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The other thing is I figured where these rocks are at. I like where they're at right now. So I don't want to take them back down and forget where they're at. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them into spot, and I'll make me some wash, and I'll probably dip these things one at a time and stick it right back in its spot and wait for the Sculptamold to get here to pop them in. Maybe the long way around, maybe not the right way to do it, but that's the way I'm gonna do it. Well, I finished all this up. I got all my holes cut, and I tell you what, it takes a set here to start carving big holes into these things after you've put the work into it. But I think the end result's going to be much better, because now I can put the Sculptamold into the hole and then push this into it, and it doesn't extrude out from it, and I can shape it and form it around each one of these. They're all cut in, and I already had some comments about that. It looks too uniform in here, but you know, it says strata layers, horizontal strata layers, so you know, I put that in there. Let's see how it turns out. Got them coming down the riverbed. One put into the rock face there where the waterfall's coming out. Around my thing, I had to cut out a big area here. This whole area is going to be worked pretty good with Sculptamold. Just little tips of little extra ones I have sticking up out there make it, why is this rock, or why is this piece still here? It's because there's a rock in there. And same here, I got a little rock sticking up out here. Just little chips, man, it all comes in handy. I only ended up with that many left out of all the ones I made. And you can also tell on this one, this is made to go vertically like this with this face. So I actually had to cut this hole out to make this vertical with the rock, and then I'll shape the rest of this with the Sculptamold in. Same here. I try to keep all these things with the faces where they're supposed to be, you know, vertical. They're supposed to be vertical faces. I'll fill in the backs, and with all that, there's only 2 that I didn't do was underneath there, and all I did was, I'm just gonna stick those 2. Those are not where you can really see them that well. The up here I've got one that's a V. This thing fit in this V corner of my thing pretty well, so I'm gonna put the wall in here, and I'll build the Sculptamold back out to make that rock fit in there. Now, this may not be how you do it, but you know what? We're gonna find out when the Sculptamold gets here, and we'll see how that works. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take these rocks off one at a time and do a little wash on each one of them and stick them right back in the same hole and wait for the Sculptamold to come out. Now that I got them all cut, because I do not want to get them mixed up now. Okay, back to doing these rocks again. If you look at the directions here for, so I can fit it in here without having to move anything. It says to color the rocks. Yellow ochre, 1 part pigment, 8 parts water. Burnt umber, 1 part pigment, 8 parts water. And black, 1 part pigment to 16 parts water, which I think I did 8 on the other one, so it was a little dark. That's why I didn't use any of those rocks over again. So I got 8 parts water, 8 parts water, 16 parts water in here. Okay, that's 1 part of that. Yeah, I'm just using this little dropper. I don't know if it's what it's supposed to do or not. Just makes more to clean up. And that brown ain't gonna hurt this black at all. Other than I can't read it. Let's measure it. Get that thing cleaned out. Yeah, let's see, something to clean it up. Okay, I'm gonna take 1 rock at a time. One-third of the area. And we'll call that 1/3. And then another 1/3. These are going to end up being a little lighter, hopefully. And then wash it with the black, which is now, hopefully, gray. It's definitely gray, but to me, that needs to be darker. Let me just try putting more of it on. Well, I think that rock ended up being fine. It's much more gray than it was the last one. The other ones that I did, they were more black, and I didn't want that black look to them. I like the gray better. I guess I ought to show you what I'm doing here as I'm finishing these rocks up. They go into their spot. I've already done that one. Now I'm going to grab one out of here. Then I'm going to colorize it. Then I'm going to put it up. Finished all the rocks. They're cut into spots and they're all colorized. You look at some of them. On the rock faces. And then next thing is they're going to get Sculptamolded in up top. Got some along the bank, on the back side of the house, or whatever is going to go up there. I think all in all it turned out pretty good. These things have a very unique color to them. Yellow ochre and gray. They turned out much more gray than I was expecting, and I do like the much more gray as opposed to the black. It was just a matter of cutting back on the black some. And okay, well, let's wait for this Sculptamold to get here, and maybe we can get all these things put in and drying tonight. Okay, this is the stuff that the other fellow used. Sculptamold. Got it off of Amazon, and I guess you can pretty much get it anywhere. I don't know. I just didn't want to have to go look for it, so. But it says 2 parts of this to 1 part water. So 2 cups of this. Maybe I'll do a half a cup. I'm just going to make little pieces because I think it's got a 15-minute cure time. So I'll just put, it looks like it's just paper and plaster mixed kind of together. Okay, let's mix up some of this stuff. I'm just going to use this container here. That's a half a cup of water. So I'm going to need 1 cup. I'm going to make it just a little batch and try this stuff out because I don't have a clue. Feels like paper product. Feels like just mashed up paper, which is fine. I don't care what it is as long as it works. Okay, we're going to call that 1 cup. Hopefully I got enough to do everything I need to do here. Okay, let's mix it up. Let's get the scope. blended back in. Getting a bunch of shadows here. One thing I did, that's the Plastamold, stuff. Can't remember the name of it. Worked pretty good. I reshaped the whole pond. Reshaped it, gave some banks. The banks are now out to here, and then the bank is in here, so I can have some green space slash some grass and whatever growing between here, and then the little pond coming down, and then coming on through. Rocks look pretty good, I think. A little bit of work. I got some cleanup stuff to do here.